Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Flight 96 podcast. I am your host, Hunter Foreman, and today I have the pleasure and honor of being joined by one of the most respectfully polarizing figures in battle rap today, but mostly somebody who I respect just because they're just themselves and they're not afraid to be themselves. She has become one of the fastest rising female battle rappers in the culture and just continues to make a name for herself each and every day by just being herself and not caring what anybody else thinks. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by the one, the only Yoshi G is in the building.
Hey everybody, thank you, Fly. Great intro.
I appreciate your time coming on here. I want to jump right into it. What makes you kind of so comfortable in your own skin? I guess I can start with that. Like, because you're somebody who I look to as clearly you are you're honest and you're not afraid to be yourself. So where do you think that kind of stems from?
I think that's just a natural trait of mine. I didn't realize until I got older that everybody doesn't carry those traits. So I was one of those gullible people in life that just always believed everybody was telling the truth. Or if somebody told me Nelly's their brother, I'm gonna believe them because I moved in a way of always being honest and open and being myself. And so that's just part of my personality, and it wasn't always embraced. Battle rap probably one of the few places that embraces uniqueness. But like high school and growing up, I definitely was the outcast.
When did you start? I guess when was the point in time where you saw like you started to really just embrace like you kind of figured out, oh, I guess, yeah, kind of figured out like, okay, this is who I am, and whatever anybody else thinks is just doesn't matter. When did you kind of just start shutting out like, this is, everybody else's kind of like opinions and being like, hey, this is who I am and this is what I'm gonna do, from henceforth?
Probably when I came into battle rap, that's probably what gave me the confidence to do it, because I'm like, oh, this is a safe space to be myself. So I would say when I was a blogger, I didn't really realize that I was like unique or whatever, because I was just blogging. I was just talking about celebrities and celebrity gossip. So it wasn't until people were telling me, yo, you blog like no other blogger. Like you say stuff that nobody else would say. And so that's when I realized, oh, okay, I could use this as a benefit, since I realized that the shock factor, it draws people in, whether they like what I say or not, they want to hear it.
Your style has been compared to the likes of Lil Kim, Trina, Foxy Brown. Even you've said in other conversations I've had with you, you perceive yourself as a big Nicki fan. Do you draw any inspiration from these people I just mentioned? And do you take it as a compliment being your style being compared to these great female MCs?
Yeah, like I look up to them for inspiration, especially like Nicki and Kim, because they were quote unquote in like groups and crews with like guys that were like great talents. And they held their own and they had their own lane in that. So that always inspires me, because even though I rap about what I want to rap about, I still feel like it's a male sport and like geared towards men. So you want to feel accepted. And so they gave me inspiration that I could rap my girly stuff and still, be gangsta and still be able to be around the thugs and, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Be hip hop. So they inspired me a lot. But I listen to all kinds. Like I listen to Rhapsody, I listen to City Girls, I listen to Queen Latifah, back to JJ Fad, Roxanne Shante. Like, I just love female hip hop in general.
And it's such a lane that you've carved out for yourself. It's very admirable, just because it's just based on, you. It's based on you being yourself, and I think, and I just want to give you your flowers for that, because that's that's really hard to do sometimes in such a public setting that is battle rap and just hip hop as in general. But as we move forward, there's a couple of battles that I kind of want to ask a little bit of questions about. The first battle I ever saw you in was against J2. That was it was and I remember the exact bar. It was the sailboat bar. I need this win like a sailboat. And that was when it was because I had never heard something so simple, but so effective at the same time. You know what I mean? And that was when I kind of was like, who is Yoshi? And that's when I kind of did my research. I saw the other battles that you did and everything. Tell me about the J2 battle and kind of what that meant for you, as far as this was, from the outside's perspective, this was kind of the first battle where it garnered a lot more attention as usual, don't you think?
Yeah, because they had the ladies and gents. I think that's the card, right? Ladies and gents.
Yes, RBE.
Okay, and they were making announcements, you know what I mean? And I'm like, gosh, I want parts of this card. But I didn't have my name up like the Farrahs and the Shunies and the Shane Ashleys or whatever. And they have their 1SK process. And so I was like, well, maybe that's probably my only way to get on the card, because they're not offering to like book me or whatever. So I reached out to Lawrence, who does the 1SKs, and I'm like, I'm really interested. I'll battle anybody. I don't care who it is. J2 from my home league. So they've been trying to book us forever, but he was so hungry for me. I ain't gonna say it scared me, but it was like, took me back, like, yo, you just getting in the game and you already like ready for smoke with everybody. Like, nah, I'm gonna wait. So he said he was gonna put me on the card, but I didn't know who I was battling. And he hit me up actually while I was in Philly watching Cassidy and fucking Arsenal. He texted me like, you're battling J2. So that was interesting. One thing I think that helped me in that scenario was that I went immediately and told Debo, like, you don't have no Queen of the Ring cards. I really want to stay active and try to make a name for myself. So I'm going to do this RBE card.
Out of respect. And that's
out of respect, because I knew it would have come out eventually. And he was right there in Philly with me at the event. So like, might as well tell him now. He gave me like a little crazy look, but we went along with it, and it didn't stop me from getting that Tony Blanco battle afterwards. And I seen some other girls had to wait a while after they went to RBE before they got booked again.
It's funny you say the Tony Blanco battle, because I do have it written in my notes. That's funny. So we can just kind of just move in order as we go along. Talk to me about the Tony Blanco, because that battle sticks out to me when your name pops up, because that was the first time I seen you really, really shake a room. And it was the simplicity. It was just the simplicity. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something too complex. And the fact that everybody in the room reacted to it at the same time and was able to catch on to it. And then the crowd erupted. You were in front of, I believe Jazz was there. There were some notable names that were in the building. So talk to me about, what that moment kind of did for you, and how'd you feel about that, shaking the room out on, I think that was Royalty Weekend as well. So talk to me about that.
Outside of J2, Tony probably was like my only battle, especially female battle, where there was like actual, I don't even like to say beef, but like actual like back and forth. So we were shit talking a lot back and forth, because she was dating Dot and he had went to jail. And so I guess she went in his messages and seen that he like would flirt with me or like my pictures or whatever. And so that just automatically made her mad. So anytime I would bring him up, like, shouldn't you be writing Dot, or why you left a nigga when he was in jail or whatever to promo the battle, it would get her really heated. And so we had like a good build up, and it motivated me to want to really kill her. And so, like you said, it was my first time really shaking the room. What I was noticed about that battle is I had a haymaker, like room shaker haymaker, one in each round that got everybody like, whoa, whoa. But that ice cream bar in the third, it was like people was coming from outside running in to figure out what the hell is all of this, about.
Commotion about.
Yeah. And so that all just happened really, really organically. I let multiple people hear the bars. Some people thought it was not good. Some people thought it was risky. Some people loved it. And I stuck with my gut, and it did work out.
It's amazing because it was performances like those, and you had moments in the Tony Blanco and the J2 battle, which leads me to the Tori Doe battle, and quite possibly my favorite round from you that you've ever spit was the first round. And it was bring it back to the honesty part, because there was a lot of honest truth that you had in that round. Tell me specifically about that first round and what that meant to you, to not only just spit on such a big platform, and not on caffeine, but to just really just kind of just show the people who you actually are, and and show a different side of Yoshi that many just regular battle rap fans didn't get a chance to see.
Yeah. Well, I guess even though I'm older than Tori, I look up to her because of her longevity. So I was very fearful of what things that she would say about me, like personally, or if she would like do research and find out things about my past. I was really fearful of it coming from her. I think it would have hurt me if she would have exposed, that my kids were in foster care briefly. If she would have exposed, that I took a charge for a nigga and he left me while I was still behind bars. I felt like maybe I need to, and while I was thinking that, I'm like, it's not even just Tori. It could be 40. It could be Farrah. If any of these girls say it, it's gonna hurt me. So I need to say it. And so I specifically chose the things like skeletons in my closet that I hide the most, like the ones that I'm most embarrassed about or most ashamed of. And that's the ones that I chose to rap about. So it's like, okay, anything that she says outside of this can't hurt me, because these are the things that can hurt me, and I'm putting it out there, and now it negates it.
The interesting, I mean, while there's a lot of truth that you spit, there wasn't, necessarily but on the other half of that, round, there was a lot of good writing. There was a lot of there was name flips. There were
nobody ever caught my little jazz. I don't fuck with you bitches.
Yeah, like there was a part of that round, like that's why I think it had a good balance. It had a good balance of showing Yoshi who she is, and kind of letting the vulnerable. Sure. letting the the vulnerability down, I guess, and then but also showing like, hey, I can also rap too, guys, like, you know what I mean, like this is this isn't just a gimmick that I have, I can also rap too. So that round always sticks out to me whenever your name comes up, whenever when it comes to talking about female battles. Were there any female battlers that you saw that made you kind of think like, oh, I could make, I can make something out of this? Were there different or male battle rappers? Either
when I was preparing for Tori?
Not even prepared for Tori, but just overall, like when you started getting your foot into the culture and really started making a name for yourself, were there other battle rappers that you look to and being like, hey, okay, I see him doing this, that means I can do this? That kind of gave you a little bit of motivation to continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah, there's things that I try to take from a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like I'll watch Nitty inspires me a lot, Twerk inspires me a lot. 40 bars, she's like genius how her mind thinks. So our mind thinks similar. We're both Capricorns. And so when I watch some of her battles, I'm like, that's exactly what I would have said, or the angle I would have took. So I know we have like similar cynical mindsets. Who else? Surf I watch a lot for like how to be a star, how to
Mm.
get out of situations type of thing, how to market and promote yourself, how to stay relevant. Same with jazz. Jazz is really good at that. Let me see. I like to watch the people who have always been great and they're like late getting their flowers, like Chilla,
Mhm.
Danny.
Mhm.
That always inspires me because it's like, just don't give up. Like, even if they don't see it right now, eventually they're gonna see it and they're gonna have to look back at all your hard work and fuck with you.
Mhm. Um, do you carry some of that motivate? Do you try to capture that motivation when you start preparing for battles? Like, do you if you're facing like a writer kind of, you know what I mean, like somebody who's very pen heavy or somebody who's very aggressive, do you tend to get in different pockets when it comes to preparation, or do you kind of prepare for everybody just kind of the same?
Yeah, like it just depends. Like with Bill, I went to see Bill hard to beat. So I went to see who who took the best approaches with Bill. I really liked how A Ward came at Bill. So then I just delved in on A Ward. Let me study A Ward. So they're like, well, you should have studied Bill. Well, no, I want to study A Ward because I like how A Ward attacked Bill. So now I'm trying to see how
Mm.
A Ward attacks different opponents. Um, so yeah, I definitely, but I'm just weird with it. Like, I don't just say, oh, he's a funny guy, so I need to figure out how to be funny, or oh, this guy's a pin, so I need to watch all daylight stuff so that I can be intricate. Like, I'm gonna watch the battles really, really where you got your ass kicked, and I'm gonna see, like, try to find your weakness, your Achilles heel, whatever, and see what it is. If it wasn't just an off night, or are you not good against, certain people?
I really respect how analytical you are. Like you seem like you I mean, you take not only you take your crap very seriously, but you really, are big on, studying your opponents, and not only just studying your opponents, studying your opponents. Like you just said,
Mm.
you focused on, you didn't just focus on Bill Collector, you focused on the people who have, either gotten the best of Bill Collector or have done an approach to Bill that you haven't seen done in a minute.
Right.
So I appreciate, you kind of like just going back and watching the game tapes and kind of taking the notes, because not everybody kind of does that. They kind of think that their style, um, their style is kind of the best at the time. So
Yeah.
they just they just kind of prepare for everybody the same. But of course there's people like you who really take the time out and really look and say, wow, like, okay, I'm battling, you know of course I'll just say this because there's been a lot of talk of it, you and B dot, like you like if your preparation for B dot is going to be totally different than what you did versus Bill.
Right. Like, I've been, like, even last night, I was up all night looking at ancient Egyptian multiplication and all kind of stuff. Like, how did I get down this rabbit hole? But yeah, that's how I prepare.
And that's something that that not everybody else does. Like, do you do the same thing? Like, because I know you put out, you do freestyles and stuff and stuff like that. Do you kind of prepare the same way, or is it kind of a more freedom, kind of more freely, since
Like,
it's
if I was
just
to jump on a track,
yeah, like if you're gonna jump on a track.
yeah, I won't have to do none of that studying. If anything, I might, something in my head like, dang, what was that? What was Roseanne's sister name? And I gotta go look it up because it go with my bar. Like, my bar ends in Roseanne, like Roseanne's sister, but I can't remember her name, so I gotta go look at something like that. But
Mm.
that's why I love making music, because it really is just a freedom of expression. Even if I wanted to make up a name, like I heard a young rapper say something Fatima. That's not her name, but she for the team. Fatima, but like, I'm like,
I love it.
yeah, I
I
like stuff
love
like
it.
that, and you can say stuff like that on a track. Like, you can get away with it.
And well, specifically, I mean, you can get away with it because that's more of your lane, but like but some of I hope you've realized that some of the stuff that you do, you can only get away with. It's like the daylight effect. Like
Yeah.
daylight, or I even credit Jack Boy Maine to this. There are some things that you do that not everybody else can get away with. Not everybody else can do, but get away with. Like if you like just for pure example, if 40 was to do a thought bar, she wouldn't get the same reaction that you would get if you did it, because we know.
Yeah. And I seen it recently. Shooting Battle Dre Dennis. She had a fire bar, something like you gonna touch, feel, and all my senses, or something like touch, feel, and smell. All shoe senses. I forgot how she said it, but it was a fire bar. And I'm like, if I would have said it, people would have did backflips. Because that's how fire of entendre, sexual entendre it was. But it's like, oh, that's Fetty's wife. Like, we don't want to hear it from you. Like, like
sexual entendre.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's incredible. Is that what we're calling this? That's
basically a thought bar.
That's a thought bar, is a sexual entendre. That's amazing. That's so. I like how you just put that together. That's really dope. You're really a writer. You're really a writer when it's like, just because even just you showing that, like, you're really a writer. As far as like wordsmith. As far as as far as preparing for somebody that's like a fellow female battle rapper, like an Official or a Casey J, or even a Jazz the Rapper, where it's about, it's just based on skill level. There's not necessarily a storyline or a narrative or something.
Okay, gotcha.
Like what's your preparation for somebody that's like that, where there's no beef, there's no problems, it's just okay, apparently I have to get through you to get to the next level.
Yeah, that's like with Tori. That's why it was even hard for me to face off with her, because I didn't have nothing but love for her. So what I did was I just went and watched her old battles, watched all her battles, and I noticed that she's easily distracted, and I noticed that she, like, the type of person, drugs is the same way too, and I had to ignore him when he did it, but I can't deal with it, especially when I'm battling. It's annoying, but I live with it. The people who get emotional and then they try to like talk like that's not true or this and that, like,
right,
shake their head.
Got you. Who react, kind of do little things, in between your bars while
like, okay, let me rap. I understand that I'm insulting you, but let me rap. Like, okay,
it's the name of the game. I'm insulting you, but come on.
So when I noticed that about her, I said I need to take a approach, because everybody like looks at her like, okay, she's so cute, adorable. So I mean, I can't call her ugly. I can't say she can't dress. I can't, you know what I mean? So instead, I have to think about it outside the box. Well, you didn't always dress this nice. So what happened in your life that gave you a glow up? Oh, you met this scamming ass dyke bitch. Okay, now I could dwell on that. And then I noticed, any assumption of like her doing stuff for money makes her mad. You know what I mean? So I tried to dwell on that. That's why I did my whole second round was a back page scheme, basically. Like, it's rumored that that's how you're getting your money or whatever.
Yeah.
The first round was dedicated to really just opening up to me. So that was easy. And I did that for Bill and Tori.
So almost every round you construct is almost has a theme to it sometimes?
Yeah, like I do like a spider web type of thing,
Okay.
And the only round that I really like, I knew I was gonna do a pyramid, a food pyramid scheme and birds. I don't know why I wanted to scheme so much with Tori. Probably because I didn't have anything like where I wanted to like attack her. So I'm like, let me just show that I could rap and be lyrical. And
you had the name flips of you checked all the boxes. You had the name flips. You did. There were punches in there.
Be like funny, like I lost $20 betting on you versus Chess. Like I tried to be funny.
That's hilarious. As far as as you look at the grand spectrum and the large picture that of not only just female battle raps in specific, but female hip hop, where do you kind of see everything kind of going as far as, you see, you, like you just mentioned, earlier, when, as far as the people that you listen to, the Nickies, the Little Kims, the Rhapsodies, where do you kind of see everything going, as far as, because right now on both the male and the female sides, it feels like bars is being cool again. Like, I feel like the appreciation for writing has increased over the past couple of years. My question to you is, do you agree with that statement? And if so, how do you kind of see things from your perspective?
Yeah, society is funny how it works. So a lot of things have changed with us being quarantined over the past year. So that's less partying. So that means party music, club music. We're not gonna necessarily be playing that at home while we're chilling, because we don't want to be in that party mindset. We're quarantined. So people have been going to more like substantial music with substance, music with stories, something that could actually be therapeutic. So I think that's, and same thing in battle rap. As we transition to no crowds, we got a chance to appreciate the bars more. What I think is going to happen is the same thing that always happens. It's going to be a cycle and a pattern. So whatever is popular now, it will become unpopular. Then whatever is unpopular will become popular, and the cycle will continue. So like if thought music is really popular right now, pretty soon it's gonna die out. All the guys like, we're sick of thought movement. We want some real women. So then girls are gonna go back to like rapping like Lauryn Hill, type of vibe. And then, some girl's gonna come make a wave like, hey, I'm a smart intellectual thought. And they're like, guys gonna be like, oh shit, we want that now. So that's how the world works.
Do you plan to just kind of go with the times, or is your brand, is your content still going to be pushed to the forefront, even if it's kind of, you would say, even if the appreciation does kind of, go away?
Fortunately for me, I think I'm layered and I have a little of every layer. Mm-hmm. So I could just pull out whatever is needed. If y'all need some thought bars, I got that. If y'all need some conscious shit, I got that. If y'all want a story, I got that. I could pull out some gospel if you really want it. So
gospel Yoshi? Gospel Yoshi? That's a different lane that I'm interested in.
Little Kim did a song with Kirk Franklin.
And look and see, it's like that. It's like, okay, if you see that happening, be like, oh, I can do that. I can do that as well. I can make that happen as well. So last question I have for you, just as basic as any other interview question. What's next for Yoshi G?
Well, I'm preparing for B-Dot, which should hopefully, if King vs. Queen doesn't get postponed, be like late summer, maybe July-ish.
Okay.
And then there's a female battle I can't announce, but I should be locking that in for June. Okay. So I think those two will get me back, to where the fans can say, okay, Yoshi's pretty consistent. You know what I mean? The tournament may have been short notice, overwhelming, but if we go and look at all Yoshi's battles and all since she's very consistent. So we can't, just throw her away yet.
Are you going to be dropping more freestyles in the near future? Is there possibly like
I need to, but yeah, I do. I need to. I'm trying to build a studio in my house to make it easier.
I think having, I was just talking to Lucifer about this on the last episode. He kind of said it's an amazing thing to have your studio in your house, or even just very, very close by, because we were talking about pen and pad and how people have kind of gone away from that because of the level of comfortability they have with themselves when they start to create. Like, I don't know about you, but after a while, you kind of start, not having to write things down when an idea comes to your head. You're instantly like, oh, I can just go in the next room and record this real quick without even having to, write it down, schedule studio time. Are you a pen and pad person? Or are you more...
especially when I'm going into the studio. But I could say battle rap has transitioned me to like being on my phone in the notes. But when I really like, I prefer to write it out because I could feel it. It could be sloppy. I could put stuff all over the place. Like I know this is gonna be an ad lib. Um, I could feel it more when I write it out. So I'm still pen and pad. Like I haven't gave that up yet, but I have noticed, like, damn Yoshi, you've been using these notes a lot. You know, especially when I could just say, "Hey Siri, add," and then say the bar, and then put it to my notes when I'm thinking of it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Last thing before we wrap it up. First of all, Yoshi, thank you so much. This has been a long time coming. I've been trying to I've definitely wanted you on the podcast just for these kinds of conversations. You know what I mean? So first of all, thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
What's a song or an artist or even an album that you've been kind of bumping lately that has kind of got you in, you know, that kind of that creative mood, that kind of, or if
It's
you have
so cliche too. I was looking at the hours. You know, you could look at how many hours you've been listening to artists. It's embarrassing. But right now, I've been listening to a lot of B Dot's music.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, is that because of, you know, you're preparing for him, or is it just, or is it also
That's why
like,
it started.
okay.
So I said, I'm thinking he was gonna be like weak. I don't know why. I guess the top tier track threw me off. So I'm thinking, but I really liked his Lux disc. So I never listened to his music to know if he is good or bad on the beat. And you know, with battle rappers, it's hit or miss. Or even if you're good on the beat, it's like, do you make good music? Like,
Right.
even people who, let's say Big T, Averb, maybe they haven't been like super killing it in the battle rap world, but I know like they could make some good music. So I didn't know if B Dot was the same. So I just, you know, put it on shuffle. Just put it on shuffle. Okay, the first song, come on. Kind of like this. Let's see what the next one. The next one, come on. I'm really feeling it. Then I'm just noticing it, just let it play, let it play, let it play in my rotation to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to your album to listen to it when I get in the car. So it's like, okay, fuck, I like his music. I gotta admit that, like, I didn't think I would. I went into it thinking I'm gonna fucking diss him, like, in the battle, and became a fan of his music, which is insightful because he does tell a lot of stories and insight to how he is the way he is. Sometimes he's want to be conscious. Sometimes he want to, you know, be a gangbanger type of thing, which give me insight.
My personal favorite track from B Dot is the Missing You off of the Coming Forth by Day. That's actually
I like how he was talking to his homie that was locked up.
Yeah, B Dot is not only an amazing lyricist, but he's a great storyteller as well. I'm looking forward to that because it's two different types of content between you and B Dot.
Right. I
love the contrast.
We don't end up having the compliment battle.
Right. And I hope that too. I mean, it's just like there's a lot of contrast between you two. So, and that always intrigues me when it comes to seeing battles. Like if I see a battle and it's two rappers that are completely different, I'm more excited about it just because of the fact that we know that they're two different people. So that kind of stuff intrigues me. But Yoshi, thank you very much. Like really, thank you so much for this. I hope this was a great interview on your end.
I enjoyed myself.
Good. And that because this one was definitely a couple months in the make. I've been trying to get you on the show ever since matter of fact, even ever since the Tory Doe battle, because I always wanted to go over those battles with you because I felt like in that order, you know, from J2 to Tony Blanco to Tory Doe, you kind of showed your leveling up,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing, and I'm a big person for, you know, when I see like whether it's a battle rapper, whether it's an artist or even an actor or something like that, being able to watch their journey, like, you know, on, you know, from a public standpoint has always been really cool to see, and yours is no different. So thank you for coming on the show, Yoshi. Thank you so much. Where can everybody follow you at? Social media wise?
You could Google me. No, I'm just kidding. Everything _ Yoshi G. That's Twitter. That's Instagram. I really don't be on Snapchat, but if you like it, it's Real Yoshi G.
There you go, people. Thank you, Yoshi. We will see
Thank
y'all next.
you.
And hopefully we can have you on one more time.
Yeah, definitely. After I knock these two battles, especially since we talked about the B dot thing, I gotta talk to you after that battle to see how you feel. See if you feel like I died or if I hung in.
I'm really excited for that battle. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Yoshi G on the Flight 96 podcast. Thank you, Yoshi. Sometimes